It is now time to turn our attention to AEW Rampage. There has been a lot of talk lately about the AEW TV deal. I talked about this on the main channel, here on the main channel. AEW's got the new TV deal done with Warner Bros. Discovery. They're no longer exclusive to Warner Bros. Discovery. And there is a lot of rumors. Keep in mind, these are rumors, chat. Okay? The rumor is that AEW Rampage is going bye-bye. And so, I want to talk about it. Now, let's talk about AEW Rampage. I'm going to tell you guys my issue with AEW Rampage and why I don't think it's a big deal if it is, in fact, canceled. On Friday, September 6, 2024, from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, the show averaged 233,000 viewers. Okay? The episode before that, 218,000 viewers. For the quarter 2 of 2024, the average for the show was anywhere between 270,000. And in 2023, it was 370,000. It was down 27%. Okay, last year, September 2023, AEW Rampage averaged 359,000 viewers. This month, their average is 233,000 viewers, down 35%. There is a decrease in interest in AEW Rampage. Now, I am not one to talk about ratings all the time, but it's important that we talk about ratings here. AEW Collision aired on TNT immediately before Rampage, and they pulled in 157,000 viewers. Rampage was followed by the Countdown show for All Out, which averaged 119,000 viewers. I think it is safe to say that AEW does not have significant interest in their product outside of Dynamite. These are not numbers that I have made up, by the way. These numbers came directly from WrestleNomics. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics is always providing great insight on viewership numbers, quarterly, year over year, week over week. Guys, the reality is that AEW Rampage is like dead in the water. AEW Rampage does not place any significance for AEW. Rampage being canceled is not a big deal for AEW. In fact, I've been keen on saying this consistently. AEW Rampage is nothing more than content for AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery. The idea that AEW Rampage could be going bye-bye is actually not a bad thing at all. But it would be really, really important that whatever AEW Shockwave is, the vision for that show needs to clearly be different than what it is for Rampage, Collision, because those two shows, they have lost their steam. Every episode of Collision, ever since the departure of CM Punk, has been nearly meaningless. It doesn't have any significant weight in the grand spectrum of things. Dynamite all year has been pretty awesome to watch. I can't say the same for Collision or Rampage. And so I think Rampage going away is actually a good thing for AEW. The problem is pre-taped wrestling sucks. And I've said this a lot. As much as I love TNA, TNA needs to go live. I do not like pre-taped wrestling. I don't like it when WWE has to pre-tape an episode of SmackDown or Raw, by the way. Pre-taped wrestling is not enjoyable. I think Rampage has gotten to a point where the show is stale. The show lost its vision. The show doesn't have an identity. The same thing happened to Collision. After CM Punk left, I think it was very clear that Collision lost everything it was supposed to be. I am extremely worried about AEW doing the same mistake with AEW Shockwave. And I know it's sometimes a little bit more irresponsible to judge something before something happens. I'm not dumb. I know you got to give things a chance. But at one point, there was a time where I truly enjoyed watching Rampage. There was a time where I truly enjoyed watching Collision. Both of those two shows don't do anything for me. I figured out the issue. First of all, the time slots suck for both of the shows. I don't like the idea of Collision being on Saturdays, and I sure as hell don't like the idea of Rampage being on at 10 o'clock on a Friday night. For some reason, people give me shit on social media when I say this, but unless it's a pay-per-view, I don't really want to be watching wrestling at 10 p.m. on a Friday night or a Saturday night or anything like that. And it's not just because I have a social life. It's not because I'm going out and enjoying my life. But I think I have become so accustomed to, like, I don't want to have to choose between what I want to watch or what I want to do, right? Like on a Monday night, if I want to watch wrestling from 8 to 10 or Monday Night Football, it's cool because I don't have anything going on typically on a Monday night. If I want to watch NXT on a Tuesday night, it makes sense because what do I really have going on a Tuesday night? Same thing with Dynamite on a Wednesday. I don't even like SmackDown being on a Friday night. I've been saying SmackDown needs to move to Tuesdays. And I know it's hard because Tony Khan doesn't want to compete with the NFL, but holy shit, bro. If you're going to have 3 or 4 shows, it's inevitable at some point you're going to compete with the NFL. It's just the way it is. But if Tony Khan can launch AEW Shockwave and it's a 1-hour time slot, do it on Tuesday. Do it on Tuesday. But I can tell you guys right now for certain, if AEW is launching new shows, whether it's on Fox Sports 1, Warner Bros, TNT, True TV, this and that, whatever it may be, I think what Tony Khan really needs to do is figure out a way to make these shows actually feel special. I'm tired of wrestling shows launching just for the sole purpose that they are content. And I think that's one of the big things too that like really angers me about WWE Speed. WWE Speed is a 2-3 minute match on Twitter every single Wednesday, and they're getting paid a lot of money to do it, and that's fine. But for WWE and for Twitter, it's just content. It doesn't scream importance to me. I don't care to go on Twitter and watch a wrestling match on Wednesdays. I can go on Twitter on Thursday and watch it. I want my wrestling shows to feel important if I'm going to watch it. Rampage never felt important. It never did. And by the way, people agree because when you go and watch, if you go and watch these people, by the way, just pay attention to this. If you see people going to a Collision taping and Rampage is being taped right after, people don't stay for Rampage. Same thing when people are going after Dynamite. I was there in Detroit when they were taping Rampage after and people were leaving. They're like, we just don't care. So yeah, I don't think Rampage really has any significance in AEW. It's not going to shock me if they're being canceled. I do think Shockwave, if it's going to be pre-taped, they need to do it in a way where it has its own identity and completely different from the way AEW does their shows. It has to have a different stage from Dynamite. Like, you really have to differentiate these shows and you got to make them feel important. And I don't know if I have faith in that. So I want to give them a chance. I want to be hopeful. I want to be positive. I'm not as excited about it because I feel like I got excited for Collision for no reason. After like 6 episodes, it basically became the thing I don't care to watch anymore. And I think the time slot had a lot to do with that as well, because initially I wasn't a fan of the time slot. But at least if I watched it on a Saturday night and I chose not to go out, or I chose to go out after the show, to me it was like, at least the show was good. But Collision lost its vision. Collision lost its identity. Rampage lost its vision and lost its identity. I don't know why this is so difficult for AEW. Have 2 really big shows. Make Ring of Honor your developmental. I feel like that is the easiest thing you can do. And it's shocking to me that they don't do that. It's shocking. Super shocking. I don't know. Be the alternative to WWE. But at that part, you should copy the WWE for sure. But a 1-hour pre-taped show, replacing one pre-taped show that's an hour long with another one that's an hour long, and then maybe just having a different TV partner for it, doesn't tell me anything of importance. And that's what I don't like.